Welcome back, fight fans, to another video here on The Fight Game. Saul Canelo Alvarez is a boxing phenomenon at 29 years old, yet he has the experience of a professional boxer 10 years his senior. One needs to only take a quick look at his boxing record to see the long list of names he's fought. Canelo, translated to Cinnamon, got his nickname as a child for his unique hair color, which always stood out as it was not commonly seen in the boxing-crazed country of Mexico. He started boxing at the age of 13 after watching his older brother debut as a professional. 2 years later, after collecting 44 victories in the amateurs, he progressed to professional, aged only 15. After a forever unfolding legacy, he holds victories over the likes of Mosley, Trout, Lara, Golovkin, Jacobs, and more. From boxing warriors such as Miguel Cotto to men larger his size such as Chavez. With these historic wins, with the years of improvement and dedication to being the very best in boxing, as someone who's built a tremendous legacy already at such a young age, Canelo is not only maybe one of the most underrated boxers in boxing, but possibly one of the best pound for pound. With exceptional technique and power, Canelo has scored pure iconic knockouts in the ring, along with delivering some of the most elite combinations with maximum and violent propensity. At this current moment in time, he is a fully fledged middleweight after developing from his debutante weight of 139 pounds. He has a ruthless inclination to win every fight by most convincing means necessary. He's forever taken on the best. He's improved in enigmatic amounts in the last few years, and in a long career of fighting the world's best, there are times where Canelo Alvarez appeared to be invincibly relentless. You can hate him or love him, but there's one thing you can't do, and that's ignore him. As the sport of boxing's biggest name, he holds a heavy weight on his shoulders each and every time he walks to the ring. So far, he's done pretty well. In this video, we'll be taking a quick look and analyzing some instances where Canelo Alvarez performed in relentless fashion. With no further ado, let's get right into it. Let's first look at the undefeated 22-year-old Canelo's fight against Josecito Lopez. Lopez had just defeated Victor Ortiz and therefore landed the big fight against Canelo. The fight started at a steady pace as Canelo remained sharp and focused. In the feeling out process, Canelo had already landed some good shots as he began to get his combinations going. Canelo was clearly looking to impose his strength and authority early. In round 2, Canelo's combinations began to find their target, and as he got the upper hand in the pace of the fight, he unleashed a devastating left hook to the liver, dropping Lopez. Lopez got up just in time as the round ended. Canelo dropped Lopez again with another body shot in the following round, and then in round 4, he put together a flashy 9-punch combination to drop Lopez for a third time. With Lopez now holding on for dear life, Canelo upped the pace and went for the kill, with multiple sequences of exchanges, stopping the fight in the 5th round. This was a brilliant display for such a young fighter in the sport, with ripping hooks and deadly straight rights. Canelo retained his WBC title and collected a great win for Mexico. The following year, Canelo then moved on to fight and beat Austin Trout in an orthodox versus southpaw showdown, landing clean uppercuts while also sending Trout to the canvas with a straight right hand down the pipe. That didn't come, of course, without a stylish exhibit of his head movement skills. Then Canelo would face Alfredo Angulo. This was Canelo's first fight in his return to the ring after losing to Floyd Mayweather. Alfredo Angulo was a battle-tested warrior from Mexico. He was expected to lose, but he wasn't going to go down without a fight. Angulo really showed hard in this fight, but he was simply no match for the much stronger Canelo. Canelo put on a dominating performance, and his ability to throw destructive combinations was on full display. In every round, Canelo seemed almost invincible. From the body to the head, Canelo dominated the action the entire fight. Every punch thrown by Canelo was thrown with maximum power and bad intentions. Canelo also showed great movements with some excellent counterpunching. Controlling Angulo with his jab, Canelo set up brilliant combinations with varying heights and angles. Canelo showed some slick defensive skills he learned in his previous fight with Floyd Mayweather. If this fight was a test for Canelo to see if he can bounce back from a loss, he passed with flying colors. Canelo used good footwork to get in good positions to throw punches. While the first few rounds of the fight were entertaining, the gruesome beating Canelo dished out began to make some fans want to see an end to the fight. As time passed by, Angulo's punches had little to no effect. The fight would continue on to the 10th round, where referee Tony Weeks put an end to the contest. The fight stoppage was very justified when taking into account how much punishment Angulo took. The following year, 1 week after the infamous May Pack fight, Canelo faced American boxer James Kirkland at Minute Maid Park in Texas. Kirkland was a rugged, strong power puncher. If anyone was to match Canelo in pugilistic toughness, it was to be Kirkland. Two power punchers against each other, the fight was sure to deliver excitement, and it did right as the bell rang in the first round. Kirkland began by pressuring Canelo to the ropes. Canelo would try to stand in the middle of the ring with Kirkland, but eventually Canelo opted to go on the defensive by resting against the ropes. He covered up, hoping to reserve his energy and let Kirkland consume unnecessary amounts. As Canelo survived an early onslaught, he maneuvered around towards the center of the ring as the referee initiated a break. Canelo instantly let go of a right uppercut, then followed by a left hook, which visibly hurts Kirkland. Canelo began to land more shots, and then it was Kirkland who decided to retreat to the ropes. But his attempt was a lot less successful as he got dropped with a straight right hand. Now Kirkland was the one in trouble, and Canelo continued the attack of his own. As Kirkland was getting attacked on the ropes, the bell rang, giving more action in one round than the entire 12 rounds of Mayweather-Pacquiao the week before. A victory for Canelo now seemed inevitable. Canelo began to put his classic combination punching to work with massive attacks to the body and head. Canelo tends to thrive in these types of fights with his Mexican style. A massive left hook jacked the jaw of Kirkland. It was quite impressive how he withstood that shot. Kirkland showed an incredible will to stay standing. With the clear skill advantage going to Canelo Alvarez, his punches only began to get more accurate, and in turn got more effective. Canelo would take punches on the gloves, but then returned fire with more hurtful strikes. With significant durability and mean power punching from Canelo, he finally scored a second knockdown in the third round. Kirkland amazingly returned to his feet, and as Canelo approached again, he set up a powerful knockout punch with a touch to the body, and then a right hook upstairs. This was undoubtedly one of the most electrifying performances of Canelo Alvarez's career. As you can see with some of these cinematic shots in slow motion, Canelo set up each and every punch with calculated skill, power, and momentum. Canelo landed an astonishing 58% of his punches against a warrior of an opponent. Kirkland would not fight again for another 4 years. After this, Canelo would continue his domination of the sport by beating Miguel Cotto, then he would score a knockout of the year contender against Amir Khan, a brutal body shot knockout of Liam Smith, a one-sided fight against Chavez, and then 2 great fights against Golovkin, another body shot victory and a classy convincing victory over Daniel Jacobs. Throughout Canelo's career, he has displayed sublime head movement, great combination punching, defensive moves, offensive attacks, intelligent footwork, and so much more. It's crazy to think that this guy isn't even 30 years old yet. It sure does beg the question, what have we left to see from Canelo Alvarez?
He can fight his ever-loving ass off. He's outboxing the rangiest and cagiest, and outfighting the roughest and toughest in the whole wide world.
He's a true testament to his country and his sport. He's never been one to ponder on what the haters think of him. He's simply and always focused on what was in front of him. Years of dedicated training has allowed Canelo to treat us to years of amazing fights. The special thing about Canelo is that even after competing at the top level at such a young age, he's still found a way to further improve his skill set as he got older. While before Canelo seemed relentless, he has now adopted a new and better style in the form of controlled aggression. At times, he will go back to his roots for a relentless attack, while also using his other tools to obtain a victory. Canelo could be one of the most improved boxers in recent boxing history. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like as it helps us grow the channel. We'll see you in the next video here on The Fight Game.